Hello again, everybody. Chuck Cassidy here with another exciting video planned for you today. So some of you may have seen Guitarcenter's series on their YouTube channel where they interview legendary guitarists like Slash, Zakk Wylde, the guys from Metallica, and they talk about their gear and their influences, and they play a little guitar. Nikkisix of Motley Crue also has a series where I think it's called My Favorite Riffs, where they come in and play the riffs that influenced them growing up and made them want to become musicians. Now, with my extensive collection of epic riffs and mind-blowing solos, I found it a little curious that I haven't been contacted by Nikkisix or Guitarcenter or anyone else for that matter. But anyway, I'm not one to sit around on my hands and wait for things to happen. So to that end, I've taken it upon myself to hire an interviewer from an Italian rock magazine here in the north of Italy, where I currently reside. She took this interview on the condition that I would not use her likeness, name, voice, or anything. And the magazine also didn't want to be named for this. Could you possibly elaborate on that? Why? Okay, sorry, we'll talk about that later, I guess. But in any case, sit back, relax, grab a cold one, and get ready to rock. Who were my biggest musical influences? Boy, where do I even begin? I mean, all the typical ones, I could say, Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Buffett. But I would say the number one guy was my music teacher in school. We had a guitar teacher in school, and I took a class with him. And he was very inspiring. Really got me interested in the guitar, and the rest is history. Am I in contact with him today? No, I don't think he's out of prison yet anyway. So the riffs that inspired me, all right, the part we've all been waiting for. I got a guitar for my 12th birthday, I think it was, and pulled it right out of the box, plugged it in right away, and the first riff I learned or tried to play was this one. Maybe you recognize this. Creedence Clearwater Revival, I think it's called Willie and the Poor Boys, something like that. You do remember that, because you don't. I mean, I'm quite a bit older than you. I wouldn't think you'd know that song. You're 47. Wow, I never would have guessed that. Well done. Anyway, so I think this song inspired a lot of riffs that I write even today. Like if you listen to my song, The Absolute Scum of the Earth, there's a pretty clear similarity, maybe a little bit too obvious. Also, lyrically, that song inspired me. Absolute Scum of the Earth is, about the mass media and how they're poisoning our brains and dividing us on purpose, and we're the Willie and the Poor Boy. Yeah, sure. Down on the corner, out on the street, it seems like that's about the mass media too. No. Well, I mean, it's all open to interpretation. That's the way music is that way, So I interpret it that way, and I use that as an inspiration for my own music. So more riffs. Well, I mean, who isn't inspired by this one? Ready? Wait. mean, you know which one I'm talking about, right? Yeah, so just the simplicity of it and the drive and the bass line and everything is all very simple. And the guitar solos, my God, well, I mean, that obviously influenced my song, The Believers. If you check that out, you'll see a pretty clear connection. Again, maybe a little bit too clear. But hey, you know, we all borrow from each other, and that's just kind of the way music works. It builds on what was previously there and the foundation set by our predecessors. So naturally, you're going to, you know, borrow from the people that came before you. Who could forget Master of Puppets, which I think is the crown jewel of heavy metal intros. I mean, the song's fantastic, don't get me wrong, but the intro is what pulls you in. And that's what I try to do with my songs is, you know, you grab them early, catch them early, get the hook in, and keep them on the hook, you know, keep them there, keep them swimming, but keep them fighting, right? And then reel them in at the end. That's the idea. And it has that opening riff, you know, it goes something like this. I'm sorry? Can I play the rest of it? Well, yeah, sure, of course. I mean, it's one of my biggest influences. Of course I can play it. I don't feel a need to prove that I can play it to you right now, but yeah, I can play it, trust me. What song? Well, I think you'll hear a pretty clear connection between that intro and my song Silent City. Again, we all borrow from each other a little bit, and that's just another example of that. But it's all good. Other guitarists who inspire my music, obviously Dimebag Darrell, may he rest in peace. John Petrucci of Dream Theater, very progressive band. I think, especially in their solos, if you listen to my guitar solos, you'll hear a lot of similarities in the style. And the blistering speed of my epic solos. How would I rate my playing against the best guitarists of all time? Boy, well, I mean, you've heard me play. What do you think? Well, then you better get on it, sweetheart. Sorry. Well, really, I don't think it's fair to rank guitarists. You know, I mean, it's like ranking two heavyweight boxers. I mean, just because Mike Tyson beat the piss out of somebody doesn't mean he's better, does it? I mean, I have 10 fingers and 2 hands just like all the rest of those guys. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't like the question, to be honest. I'm sorry. What are you writing? It'd be a lot easier if you just spoke. I can edit out your voice later. I'm sorry, I don't speak Italian very well yet. Can you say that slowly? That was English. Oh, yeah. No. It's rock and roll, man. I can't hear shit anymore. You know, it's just one of those things. Well, I have a very discerning audience. 25 or 28 or whatever followers I have at this point. Some people aren't, I would say most people aren't musically intelligent enough to understand what I'm doing, and so I don't expect the whole world to immediately get what I'm putting forward, any more than you would expect somebody to understand, an abstract article about rock and roll that you write, right? Listen, I'm not sure what the problem is here, but you seem to be copying an attitude a little bit. Copying an attitude, that's like, I don't know, so you're still upset about the sweetheart comment? Well, listen, I apologize for that. I don't know what else you want from me. I hired you just to come and do this interview, and then, I thought maybe after we could go have a drink. What? So that's it, you're just taking your stuff and taking off? Come on, sit back down, let's finish the interview, and then we can go have something to drink somewhere. Can I treat? No, I don't have any yet. I'm broke. All right, guys, well, that's the interview. I hope you enjoyed that. I really apologize for the lack of professionalism on the part of our interviewer today. I was really hoping for more. But anyway, stay tuned for another episode of Why My Riffs Kick Ass. Episode 2 should be coming out in a few weeks, if all goes well. That is a 76-part series, so that'll keep us going for a while. So stay tuned, hit the subscribe button, hit like, give me attention, please.